Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we'll be looking at Mason Greenwood's future. Will he be going on the US tour? There's a couple of stories doing the rounds on that front. Also as well, Manchester United could have a new approach to transfers. It seems like the club are going to be working with data analysts who have had success at some of our rivals. So hopefully they can have success here at Manchester United. Let's check it out. Jay here from Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and, right, the weather is bizarre, yeah? We've just had a little bit of snow. I'm not making it up, right? Me and producer Ethan are here, and we just looked around and it just started snowing just on us. Now, I don't know what is going on. Maybe someone's sticking a snowblower out the window at Hotel Football, but it was really odd because I can see blue skies not far away. So anyway, let's get into some United news. Enough of that nonsense. A few stories to get through. Make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. We want to get to 750,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and with your support, yes, we can do it. Right, let's start with a Mason Greenwood story. Where would we be without a Mason Greenwood story? The saga that never ends. There's a story in the Mirror saying that Manchester United are planning not to take Mason Greenwood on the preseason tour. United travelling over to the US. I think we've got games in South Carolina and a couple of other places as well. I think LA as well is one of them. But we're not going to take Mason Greenwood, according to a report in the Mirror. Now, it's a bit up in the air what is going to happen with Mason Greenwood. Depending on how you interpret Sir Jim Ratcliffe's comments, you could say, well, he's coming back to the club or he isn't coming back to the club. I felt like Sir Jim Ratcliffe didn't give too much away when he spoke about Mason Greenwood. He mentioned things like the values of the club. We have to look at that. So I think it's open to interpretation. The latest reports coming from the Mirror, and I think this might have even come via another newspaper. I think the Star might have been the first one to run with this, is that Mason Greenwood won't be going on the US tour. He's obviously at Getafe this season, sorry. Might even end up staying there this summer. He's done quite well there. It's not football that is the issue. It's not Mason Greenwood's ability, which is the issue with Mason Greenwood. We all know that. The issue, obviously, is what's gone on off the pitch. So we'll have to wait and see what is going to happen on that front. Is Mason Greenwood going to end up back at United eventually? Is he going to go on the tour? The inclination, or the indication now, is that he won't. And that may mean that he isn't going to come back to Manchester United at all, that this is a sort of the first move towards him moving on in the summer permanently. There has been interest. We have heard reports that other clubs have been looking at him. At one point, he was linked with Atletico Madrid and Barcelona as well. Maybe even a permanent move to Getafe. Who knows? But the latest report, as I said, looks like he might not be going on the tour. And if he's not going on the tour, then you think he isn't coming back to Manchester United as a player. So let us know in the comments what you make of that. I mean, we all know Mason Greenwood is an unbelievable talent, if we're being brutally honest. He's one of the best youngsters I've ever seen at the club in terms of his pure footballing ability. But that isn't the question here. The question is, obviously, what has gone on off the pitch. Moving on, the other story doing the rounds this morning as well. This is in the Daily Mail, and it looks like Manchester United are looking, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are looking at data analysts to come in and try and help with transfers. There's a company called Ludo Nautics, which sounds like some sort of underwater game. They're being looked at as potentially helping Manchester United with transfers. Now, one of the brains behind this, or one of the consultants who works with Ludo Nautics, I think is Michael Edwards, who works at Liverpool. He was part of the setup there that saw deals like the Mo Salah deal, the Sadio Mane deal, the Andrew Robertson deal. These were bargains. These were the sort of transfers that have helped Liverpool have success over the recent years. You look at them, you look at what they paid for those players, and you think, those are really good deals. Those are the kind of deals we should be doing at Manchester United, but we never do. If you look at Mo Salah, pains me to say it because I'm loath to stand here and give Liverpool any credit whatsoever, but you look at Mo Salah deal in particular, that strikes me as one of the best deals in recent memory in the Premier League. It really is a phenomenal deal. He's absolutely smashing in the goals, and when they signed him, I don't think everyone was looking at it going, wow, can't believe they've got Mo Salah. They're definitely going to win everything now, or they're definitely going to start smashing it. He's going to score loads of goals for him. He was a player that hadn't really done it in the Premier League, had gone to Italy and done well, but when he went to Liverpool, he absolutely smashed it, fitted into their system. And I remember seeing Jamie Carragher talking on, I think it was on the Stick to Football podcast, and he was saying how Jurgen Klopp, I think, actually didn't want Salah. He wanted, I think, Julian Brandt. Yet the club said, no, look, we've been scouting Mo Salah. He's the player for you. He'll fit your system. He'll do well in the Premier League. Go and, get this guy in. Trust us. Obviously, they did, and it worked. Now Manchester United and Ineos are looking at these Ludonautics company who, data analysts and people that can look at transfers and hopefully help Manchester United get some of the deals that we should have got, because we were talking about this the other day on one of the podcasts about how many deals. I think it was when me and Joe interviewed James Ducker from The Telegraph. Go and check that out, by the way, if you haven't done already. about how many deals Manchester United have done, how many players we've signed that have actually been a success post Sir Alex Ferguson. There's not many. There's not many transfers you can go, that transfer was a success at Manchester United. Maybe Bruno. Perhaps Luke Shaw. After that, it's debatable. I mean, you can say Zlatan in his first season, second season wasn't so great. I mean, there's others you can say, you know, were good players. Paul Pogba was a good player. Andy Martial's a good player. Injuries and other issues have taken over there. And it's like, there's not many. When you look at some of our rivals, they make good deal after good deal after good deal. This is what Manchester United needs to be doing if we are to catch the likes of Manchester City and the likes of Liverpool. It doesn't help as well when you see the recent interview with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think he was on a Stick to Football as well. I'm not getting paid to plug Stick to Football. I've just been watching a bit of it. And he was saying that he told the club to go out and get Erling Haaland for 20 million euros. And the club went, nah, you're all right. I mean, just bonkers decisions afoot at Manchester United. And hopefully, under Ineos, we can start getting rid of these insane decisions and start making some proper ones like an adult football club should be, because we've been acting like kids for far too long. UEFA Coefficient rankings are out this morning. Doesn't look good. Not pretty reading for Manchester United. England have slipped down to third in the recent club coefficient rankings because of poor results for some of our teams in Europe. Say our, they're not, you know, not my team or your team, but the English teams. West Ham and Brighton. Brighton got battered, didn't they, at Roma? West Ham, I think, lost at Freiburg. England down to third in the coefficient rankings, which, if it was to stay like that, I think would mean fifth place in the Premier League doesn't give us that Champions League spot. Now, it can all change. There's second legs. There's other, you know, rounds as well. Anything can happen. We might see Arsenal and City doing really well in the Champions League. We might see West Ham and Brighton or whatever turning around. You don't know how this is going to go. It's just, at the minute, fifth place might not be a Champions League spot. And a good argument to make is United, are we even going to get fifth spot anyway? Is that something that doesn't concern us, to be brutally honest, because it's not looking highly likely we will get a fifth place finish the way things have been going recently. But you never know. It's just one to keep an eye on in it, because that could be a way for Manchester United to get in the back door if, and it's a big if, we can get that fifth spot. I mean, it could be a double-edged sword, because we could get fifth spot. That could be a Champions League place. But the reason it could be a Champions League place is because City have retained the Champions League, which would be horrible. So I don't know how I feel about that, to be brutally honest with you. Get involved in the comments and the chat and let us know what you think about any of those stories, what you think about the Champions League spot, what you think about Mason Greenwood, and what you think about how Manchester United are approaching our transfer business. It does feel like there are changes afoot at Manchester United. We might have to be a little bit patient, though, because I don't think you make some of these changes and you see an instant reaction. But hopefully, it is the beginning of turning the mess around that we've seen under the Glazer ownership. I'm going to be back later on with the Broom. Myself and Stephen Howson. I think Angelina's joining us for that one. There's other videos as well coming up, so make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. I'm Jay Motty outside a pretty cold Old Trafford, but at least it stopped snowing. Thanks for watching.